fountain right now, little angel? Will you swear that you're not praying that I shut your protest with a kiss that will make you forget everything except my name? You smell like you need to be ruined, like you're empty and aching for it.
I do not.
You do. Tonight, when you're alone in your bed, you'll think about this, about how badly you wanted me to pull you into an empty room and finish what we started last night.
You're wrong.
Your pulse says otherwise.
Hello, lovers. Welcome to another intense forbidden romance series. You want to know how a married woman ended up in the hands of a notorious mafia lord, don't you? Hold your teeths now. I'll talk you through it. One at a time. 20 minutes earlier, Maya had been sitting in her parked car outside a hotel, watching her husband Marcus exit with his secretary for the third time this month. She'd followed him, pathetic as that was, hoping to be wrong. But there they were, his hand on the small of another woman's back, the intimate laugh she hadn't heard directed at her in years. She'd expected rage. Instead, she felt nothing. Empty. Like watching strangers in a movie she'd seen too many times. When Marcus spotted her car, he didn't even have the decency to look guilty. He walked over, knocked on her window with that patronizing smile she'd grown to hate. "Maya, sweetheart, let's not make a scene." She rolled down the window. "3 times, Marcus. 3 times I've caught you. And 3 times you've forgiven me." His cologne, the one she'd bought him for Christmas, made her stomach turn. "Look, we both know this isn't working the traditional way. Let's try an open marriage. Clearly, we both want different things." "We both?" Her voice cracked. "I've never." "Exactly," he concurred. "You never. Never want to try anything new, never want to explore, never want to live a little. You're so innocent. It's exhausting." The word hit like a slap. Innocent, like it was something shameful, something to outgrow. She'd been faithful, devoted, everything a good wife should be. And he made it sound like weakness. "I'll be home tomorrow," Marcus said, already walking away. "We'll discuss the details then. Maybe this will be good for you, Maya. Maybe you'll finally grow up." She'd driven for an hour after that. No destination in mind, just needing to move. The city blurred past. Neon lights reflecting off wet pavement. Strangers living their lives behind glowing windows. She'd pulled into an empty lot near the warehouse district to cry in peace, to scream into the void where no one would hear. That's when she saw him stumble out of the alley. At first, she thought he was drunk. The way he swayed, hand pressed to his side. Then he stepped into the streetlight's glow, and she saw the blood. So much blood, spreading across what had to be a $1,000 shirt. Every self-preservation instinct screamed at her to drive away. This was the bad part of town. This was someone else's problem. This was dangerous. But something in the way he fell to one knee, controlled even in collapse, made her open her door. "Sir? Sir, are you okay?" Maya asked. It was a stupid question. He'd been shot. She could see the hole in his shirt, the way blood pulsed between his fingers with each heartbeat. His head lifted, and those eyes, God, those eyes found hers. Even while dying, he was the most beautiful man she'd ever seen. Sharp cheekbones, dark hair plastered to his forehead with rain and sweat, a mouth that looked carved from marble. "Angel," he muttered, and she realized he was delirious. Finally sent an angel. She took out her phone. "I'm calling 911. No." The word carried enough command that she actually stopped reaching for her phone.
No police.
"No hospitals. No police. You'll die." "Then let me die looking at something beautiful," he said, looking at her like an angel thrown down to earth. If you're hooked already, hit that like button right now because this story is about to get dangerously addictive. Maya had never been called beautiful. Cute, maybe. Pretty on good days. But the way this stranger said it, like her face was his salvation, it stirred something dormant in her chest. "I'm taking you to the hospital," she said firmly, surprising herself with her conviction. She helped him to her car, his weight nearly buckling her knees. He smelled like gunpowder and expensive cologne, something dark and spiced that made her dizzy. When she pressed her hands to his wound to stop the bleeding, he made a sound. Half pain, half something else. "No one has ever touched me this gently," he murmured, his hand covering hers, smearing her fingers with his blood. "Don't walk away from me, Angel. Not yet." "Save your energy," she said, but her voice shook. There was something about him. Dangerous, yes, but magnetic in a way that defied logic. She drove to the nearest hospital, breaking every traffic law. He drifted in and out of consciousness, muttering in what sounded like Italian. She caught fragments. Something about territory, about betrayal, about debts that would be paid in blood. At the emergency entrance, she helped him out, and he gripped her wrist with surprising strength. "Your name," he demanded. "Maya." "Maya." He tasted the word like wine. "Maya what?" "Does it matter? You're dying." "I'm not dying. And yes, it matters. Everything about you matters now." "Maya Chen," she whispered, not understanding why she felt compelled to answer. His thumb stroked her pulse point once before releasing her. "I'll find you, Maya Chen. Count on it." The medical staff swarmed him, and she slipped away in the chaos. She gave a fake name at the desk, paid his admission in cash from the emergency fund in her glove compartment, and left before anyone could ask questions. It wasn't until she got home, stripping off her blood-stained clothes, that she realized she'd never gotten his name. Marcus didn't come home that night, or the next morning. His absence should have hurt, but all Maya could think about were those black gold eyes, the way a dying man had looked at her like she was worth saving. She was making coffee when the doorbell rang at 7 a.m. Through the peephole, she saw a man in an expensive suit holding a garment bag. "Mrs. Chen, I have a delivery for you," he said. "I didn't order anything. From Mr. DeLuca. He insists you accept it." DeLuca. The name sent ice through her veins. She knew that name. Everyone in the city knew that name. Adrian DeLuca, the man who owned half the waterfront, the man politicians feared, the man who'd turned organized crime into an art form. The man she'd saved was Adrian DeLuca, she realized with panic. "Tell Mr. DeLuca I don't accept gifts from strangers," she said through the door. The delivery man smiled. "He said you'd say that. He also said to tell you that angels shouldn't lie, and you're no stranger to him anymore." After he left, Maya stood frozen in her hallway. She'd saved a mafia lord. She'd had his blood on her hands, had seen him vulnerable, had touched him with gentleness he'd apparently never known. What had she done? The black car appeared outside her house the next morning. Sleek, expensive, with windows tinted dark enough to hide sins. Maya watched it from her bedroom window, waiting for something to happen. Nothing did. It just sat there, engine running, patient as death. When she left for work, it followed. When she stopped for coffee, it waited. When she returned home, it parked across the street like a predator settling in for a long hunt. On the third day, she'd had enough. She marched across the street in her sensible work heels and knocked on the driver's window. It rolled down to reveal the most beautiful man she'd ever seen. "No," The second most beautiful. Even cleaned up, even in a suit that probably cost more than her car, Adrian DeLuca took her breath away. "Hello, Angel," he rasped. Maya glared at him. "Stop following me." "I'm not following. I'm protecting you." "I don't need protection." The men who shot me might disagree. He stepped out of the car, and Maya had to crane her neck to meet his eyes. He was taller than she remembered, broader, the kind of presence that changed the gravity in a room. "They saw you that night. They know you helped me. That's not my problem. It became your problem the moment you chose to save me." His voice was velvet over steel. "But don't worry. I pay my debts. I don't want payment." "No?" He stepped closer, and her back hit the car. "Then what do you want, Maya Chen?" "To be wanted," her traitorous mind whispered. "To be chosen. To feel anything other than the emptiness Marcus left behind." "Nothing from you," she lied. His smile was slow, dangerous. "Your pulse says otherwise." His fingers ghosted over her throat, not quite touching. "Your breath says otherwise." His eyes dropped to her lips. "Your body says otherwise." "My husband. Your husband who spent last night at the Riverside Hotel with his secretary?" Adrian's smile sharpened. "That husband." Her face burned. "You've been watching. I've been learning. Learning who doesn't deserve you. Learning who leaves you alone to cry in parking lots at midnight." He leaned in, his breath warm against her ear. "Learning who's too stupid to worship what he has at home." "Stop." "Why? Because I'm saying what you already know? Because I'm treating you like the treasure your husband throws away?" Drop a comment right now if you think Maya should run, or if she should fall into Adrian's dangerous world. "This is inappropriate," Maya said. "Everything about me is inappropriate for you." He pulled back, giving her space to breathe. "I'm violent. I'm obsessive. I take what I want and I destroy anyone who tries to take it from me. You should run, little angel. Run far and fast." "Then why tell me that?" Maya asked, a frown on her face. "Because when you don't run, and you won't, I want you to know exactly what you're walking into." He got back in his car, but before the window rolled up, he added, "I know your husband will ask for an open marriage. Consider me your first option." The car pulled away, leaving Maya standing on the sidewalk, shaking with something that wasn't fear. That night, Marcus finally came home. He smelled like another woman's perfume and had the audacity to kiss Maya's cheek like nothing had happened. "We should talk about our arrangement," he said, loosening his tie. "I've thought about it, and I think this could be good for us. Healthy, even. You could use some experience." "Experience?" "Come on, Maya. You've been the same since college. Same clothes, same routine, same everything. Maybe if you explored a little, you'd understand why I need more." Each word carved away another piece of her self-worth. She'd loved this man for 10 years, had built a life with him, had been faithful and devoted, and apparently that made her boring. "I met someone," she heard herself say. Marcus laughed. Actually laughed. "You? Maya, please. His name is Adrian." The laughter died. "Adrian? As in Adrian DeLuca? Very funny. You wanted an open marriage." Marcus grabbed her shoulders, his fingers digging in. "If this is some kind of joke, it's not. Adrian DeLuca is dangerous, Maya. He's a criminal, a killer. But he's interested." The words tasted like power. "You wanted me to explore, to grow up, to stop being so innocent." "Not with him. Christ, Maya. Pick someone from your book club or something. Someone safe. Like your secretary was safe." Marcus released her, stepping back. This is ridiculous. You don't have it in you to handle a man like that. You're right, she agreed. The old Maya wouldn't. But you killed her when you asked to share me like I'm a Netflix password. She went to bed alone, but she didn't cry. Instead, she lay awake thinking about black gold eyes and a voice that made her feel like prey and predator all at once. The next morning, a different car waited outside. A pristine Bentley with a driver who opened the door as she approached. Mr. DeLuca requests your presence for lunch, he said. She should say no. Should go to work, should pretend none of this was happening. Instead, she got in. The restaurant was the kind that didn't list prices on the menu. Adrian waited at a private table, looking like Sin in a charcoal suit. He stood when she approached, pulling out her chair, a gentleman's gesture from a man who was anything but. You came? He said. And it wasn't a question. You knew I would. I hoped. He studied her over the rim of his wine glass. Tell me about yourself, Maya Chen. Tell me how a woman like you ends up married to a fool. I loved him, she said simply. We met in college. He was charming, ambitious. He chose me when no one else did. And you mistake being chosen for being valued. The accuracy stung. What would you know about it? I know that real men don't choose. They claim. They don't ask for permission to want other women. They can't imagine wanting anyone else. His eyes never left hers. I know that you've been starving for years, and you don't even know what you're hungry for. And you do? She asked, her breath getting heavier. I know you want to be consumed, devoured, worshipped until you can't remember what it felt like to be ignored. He leaned forward. I know you want someone to look at you like you're their religion, their salvation, their favorite sin. Her breath caught. You don't know me. I know you saved me when you had every reason to run. I know you have a strength you've never been allowed to use. I know you're about to discover exactly how much power you've been hiding. There was silence between them, heavy and solemn, before Maya spoke again. I'm married. Adrian scoffed. To a man who's probably eating his mistress under the table at this very moment. She wanted to argue, but her phone buzzed. It was a message from Marcus. Working late tonight. Don't wait up. Adrian's smile was predatory. Let me guess. Working late? How did you? Because I've had him followed since the night you saved me. I know every hotel he's been to, every lie he's told, every time he's chosen someone else over you. That's invasive. That's protective. There's a difference. Why do you care? Adrian reached across the table, his fingers brushing hers. The contact sent electricity up her arm. Because you put your hands on my body to stop my bleeding. Because you looked at me with compassion when I deserved fear. Because you're the first pure thing I've wanted to corrupt in a very long time. I'm not pure. You are. Not innocently, emotionally. You've never been properly touched, properly tasted, properly ruined. His thumb traced her palm. And I want to be the one to show you what you've been missing. Maya laughed hysterically, not understanding what was going on at that moment. This is crazy. The best things always are. She pulled her hand back, but the ghost of his touch remained. I should go. Yes, he agreed. You should, but you won't. Why not? Because for the first time in years, you feel alive. Because your skin is hot and your pulse is racing and you're imagining what it would be like if I did more than touch your hand. You're very sure of yourself. I'm sure of what I see. He signaled for the check. Go home, Maya. Go home to your empty bed and your absent husband. And when you're lying there, remember that I'm the kind of man who would burn down the city before I let you sleep alone if you were mine. The drive home was silent, but her mind was screaming. Everything about Adrian DeLuca was wrong for her. He was dangerous, criminal, and probably deadly. But God help her, she wanted to know what it felt like to be wanted that badly. Marcus wasn't home when she arrived. Wouldn't be home until dawn, probably. She poured herself wine, something she rarely did, and sat in the darkness, thinking. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Stop thinking so hard, Angel. The decision's already made. You just haven't admitted it yet. She shouldn't respond. Should block the number. Instead, she replied, "You don't know what I've decided. I know you're drinking wine in the dark, wearing that blue silk robe, wondering what it would be like to let someone ruin you properly." She looked around, paranoid. "Are you watching me?" "I'm imagining you. There's a difference. But if you want me to watch, just say the word." Her fingers trembled as she typed. "What would you do if I said the word?" The 3 dots appeared and disappeared several times before his response came. "Everything your husband's too stupid to do. Everything you've been too afraid to want. Everything that would transform you from his neglected wife into my favorite obsession." She gasped and set the phone down, her whole body burning. This was insane. She was a suburban housewife having an emotional affair with a mafia lord via text. This wasn't her life. But maybe that was the point. Another text. "Come to my place tomorrow night. Let me cook for you." "You cook?" "I'm Italian, Angel. Of course I cook, unless you're afraid to be alone with me." She was afraid. Terrified, actually. But not of him, of herself, of what she might do, of who she might become. "Address?" He sent it immediately, followed by, "Wear something that makes you feel powerful. Not for me, for you." That night, she dreamed of black gold eyes and hands that knew exactly how to touch her. She woke to an empty bed and a note from Marcus. "Conference this weekend, back Monday." He wasn't even pretending anymore. Saturday night found her standing outside Adrian's penthouse, wearing a black dress she'd bought that afternoon, something the old Maya would never wear. It hugged curves she usually hid, and showed skin she usually covered. She felt exposed and powerful all at once. Adrian answered the door in dark jeans and a black Henley that clung to every muscle she remembered from that night in the alley. Casual had never looked so dangerous. "You came," he said, and this time it was definitely a question. "I'm here for dinner, just dinner." "Of course." But his smile suggested he knew better. "Come in." The penthouse was exactly what she expected. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, modern art, leather and chrome. What she didn't expect was the kitchen that looked actually used, or the smell of something incredible cooking. "Osso buco," he said, catching her surprise. "My grandmother's recipe." "You have a grandmother?" "Had. She died when I was 15. But she taught me that food is love, and love is power." He poured her wine, something expensive that made her previous attempts at wine tasting seem like child's play. They cooked together, him guiding her through preparing sides, his hands occasionally covering hers to show her how to hold the knife, how to test the vegetables. Every touch was electric, every glance loaded with promise. "Tell me something real," she said as they ate. "Something that's not about this game we're playing." Adrian considered. "I haven't had anyone in this apartment in 3 years. I don't let people into my space. It's too intimate. But I'm here." "You're here," he agreed, watching her with those impossible eyes. Because you're already under my skin. Have been since you looked at me bleeding out and decided to save me anyway. I would have saved anyone. No. His voice was certain. You wouldn't have. Something recognized something that night. You felt it too. She had. That was the terrifying part. Your turn, he said. Something real. I haven't been properly kissed in 2 years, she admitted, the wine making her brave. My husband pecks my cheek sometimes, but a real kiss? The kind that makes you forget your name? Years. Adrian set down his wine glass very deliberately. That's a crime. It's just life. No. He stood, moving around the table with predatory grace. That's neglect. That's waste. That's a man too stupid to realize he's been given a gift. He pulled her to her feet and suddenly she could barely breathe. One hand cupped her face, thumb tracing her cheekbone. The other settled at her waist, burning through the thin fabric. Tell me to stop.
Tell me to stop.
He murmured.
I can't.
I can't.
Tell me this is just dinner.
Tell me this is just dinner. It's not. Tell me you don't want me to ruin you for anyone else. Adrian. Because I will, Angel. I'll wreck you so thoroughly that you'll forget what it felt like before I touched you.
What it felt like before I touched you.
I'll worship every inch of you until you understand what it means to be wanted. I'll make you feel so good, you'll forgive me for being bad. If you're still watching, you need to subscribe right now, because this tension is about to explode. I'm married, she whispered. But it sounded weak even to her. To a man who told you to explore. His lips brushed her ear. So explore. Allow me to explore you, Maya. And just like that, he was kissing her. And Maya understood what she'd been missing. This wasn't just a kiss. It was claiming, consuming, conquering. His mouth moved against hers like he was trying to breathe her in, like she was oxygen and he'd been drowning. One hand tangled in her hair, the other pulled her against him until she could feel every hard line of his body. She made a sound, half sob, half moan, and he swallowed it, deepening the kiss until she couldn't think, couldn't breathe, couldn't remember why this was wrong. When he finally pulled back, she was shaking. That, he said against her lips,
is how a man kisses a woman
is how a man kisses a woman he can't live without. We shouldn't. We already have. He stepped back, giving her space, even though his eyes said he wanted to do anything but. The question now is what you're going to do about it. I don't know. Yes, you do. He touched her face gently. Go home, Maya. Go home and think about what you felt just now. Think about what you've been settling for. And when you're ready to stop being his afterthought and start being my everything, you know where to find me. The drive home was torture. Her lips were swollen, her body humming with want she'd never felt before. She could still taste him, still feel his hands in her hair, still hear the way he'd said her name like a prayer. Marcus was home when she arrived, sitting in the living room with his laptop, probably emailing his mistress. Where were you? He asked without looking up. Out. That got his attention. She never just went out. You look different, he said, taking in the dress, the heels, the way she carried herself. I feel different. Maya, about this open marriage thing. I'm seeing someone, she said simply, like you wanted. Marcus closed his laptop. Who? Does it matter? Of course it matters. You're my wife. Who you wanted to share. She pulled off her heels, suddenly exhausted. You open the door, Marcus. Don't complain about who walks through it. This is about that DeLuca thing, isn't it? Maya, you're playing with fire. Maybe I want to burn. She left him sitting there and locked herself in the bathroom. Her phone buzzed immediately. Adrian, did you tell him? Maya, how did you know I would? Adrian, because you're done hiding. I can feel it. Maya, this is dangerous. Adrian, the best things always are. Maya, he's angry. Adrian, let him be. His anger is nothing compared to what I feel for you. Maya, what do you feel? The typing dots appeared and disappeared several times. Adrian, like you're my salvation and my damnation, like I would burn down heaven just to follow you to hell, like you've ruined me for normal, for safe, for sane. I feel obsessed, Angel, and I'm done pretending otherwise. She pressed her phone to her chest, heart racing. She was standing at the edge of a cliff, and Adrian DeLuca was inviting her to jump. The smart thing would be to step back. But Maya was done being smart. She typed, "Tomorrow, your place. Show me what it means to be wanted." His response was immediate. "Once we start, there's no going back." "Good, I don't want to go back." "Maya, I want to go forward, into whatever this is, even if it ruins me. Especially if it ruins you." She smiled at that, surprising herself. Especially then. The next day, Marcus tried everything. Flowers delivered to her work, apologies via text, promises to change, to be better, to close the marriage and recommit. Too little, too late. She arrived at Adrian's penthouse as the sun set, painting the city in shades of gold and shadow. He answered the door before she could knock. "Second thoughts?" he asked. "Third and fourth thoughts," she admitted. "But I'm here anyway." "Because?" "Because you make me feel like I matter. Like I'm worth wanting. Like I'm not just someone's safe choice, but someone's only choice." He pulled her inside, backed her against the closed door. "You're not my choice, Maya. Choices can be changed. You're my requirement, my necessity, my addiction.
My necessity, my addiction."
"Adrian, I need you to understand something." His hands framed her face, forcing her to meet his eyes. "I don't do casual. I don't do temporary.
I need you to understand
If
something.
we do this,
I
you're
don't
mine.
do this temporary. If we do this,
Completely.
you're mine, completely, obsessively, permanently.
Permanently. That's intense. I'm intense. I'm possessive. I'm probably going to ruin your life in the most beautiful way possible." His thumb traced her bottom lip. "Still want this?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because my life's already ruined," she said softly. "At least with you, it'll be a beautiful destruction." He kissed her then, and it was different from last night. Last night was exploration. Tonight was devastation. He kissed her like he was trying to erase every other kiss she'd ever had, like he was rewriting her history with his mouth. His hands were everywhere. Her hair, her waist, her throat, never still, always claiming. When he lifted her, pressing her back against the wall, she wrapped her legs around him without thought. "I'm going to worship you," he said against her throat. "Going to show you what it means to be someone's religion." "Please." "I'm going to ruin you for anyone else. I'll make it so you can't even remember what it felt like before I touched you." And he did. Not in the way that would violate guidelines, but in ways that were somehow more intimate. He spent hours learning what made her gasp, what made her shake, what made her forget her own name. He whispered Italian endearments against her skin, told her she was beautiful in 5 languages, and made her believe it. He taught her what it meant to be desired, truly, obsessively, completely desired. By dawn, she was transformed, not just physically, but fundamentally. She understood now what she'd been missing, what she'd been settling for, what she deserved. "I have to go home," she said, though every cell in her body protested. "No, you don't." "Marcus, can wait." Adrian pulled her back against him. "Let him wonder where you are for once. Let him feel what you felt all those nights alone. That's cruel. Maya laughed. That's justice. Adrian whispers, kissing her neck. She stayed another hour, letting Adrian make her breakfast, letting him kiss her between bites of perfect eggs, letting herself pretend this was her real life. When she finally left, he caught her at the door. This isn't an affair, he said seriously. This is me claiming you. This is you choosing me. This is the beginning of your real life. Adrian, divorce him. It's not that simple. It is. Divorce him or I'll destroy him. His eyes were deadly serious. And, Angel? I'm very good at destruction. She drove home in a daze, her body still humming with Adrian's touch, her mind racing with possibilities and consequences. Marcus was waiting in the kitchen, unshaven, exhausted. Where were you? With Adrian. All night. All night. Marcus stood slowly, and she saw something she'd never seen before. Fear. You slept with Adrian DeLuca? You wanted an open marriage. Not with him. Anyone but him. Why? She was genuinely curious. Because he's dangerous? Because he's powerful? Or because you know he won't share? Maya, you don't understand what you've done. What you've started. Men like Adrian DeLuca don't just date. They own. They possess. They want. She finished. When's the last time you wanted me, Marcus? Really wanted me, not just settled for me? He couldn't answer. That's what I thought. She headed for the stairs. I'll be filing for divorce on Monday. Maya, wait. We're done, Marcus. You were done with me years ago. I'm just finally catching up. She packed a bag while he pleaded through the door. Promises of counseling, of change, of being better. All the things he should have offered before suggesting she wasn't enough. Her phone rang. It was Adrian. There's a moving company outside your house, he said without preamble. They'll pack everything that's yours. You're not spending another night under his roof. That's presumptuous. That's protective. There's a difference. Where am I supposed to go? To me. Where you belong. It should have scared her, this intensity, this possession. Instead, it made her feel precious, wanted, claimed. This is insane, she said. Yes, he agreed. Beautifully insane. She looked around the bedroom she'd shared with Marcus for 7 years. Nothing here felt like hers anymore. Maybe it never had. Okay, she said. Okay, come get me. He was there in 20 minutes, stepping out of the Bentley like an avenging angel in Armani. Marcus tried to confront him at the door, but one look from Adrian had him stepping back. You're destroying her life, Marcus said desperately. Adrian looked at him with contempt. No, I'm giving her the life she deserves, the one you were too blind to provide. She's innocent, not anymore. Adrian's smile was sharp. I've thoroughly ruined that innocence you took for granted, and she thanked me for it. He took Maya's hand, led her to the car. Before getting in, he turned back to Marcus. You asked for an open marriage, he said calmly. But I'm the man who walked through the door, and I'm never leaving. As they drove away, Maya looked back once at the house that had been her prison disguised as home. Then she looked at Adrian, this dangerous, beautiful man who'd crashed into her life and set it ablaze. No regrets? He asked, taking her hand. None, she said, and meant it. Good. He brought her hand to his lips. Because I'm about to ruin you all over again in all the best ways, little angel.
I'm about to ruin you all over
You're going to be
again in
my
all the
favorite
best ways,
obsession,
little angel.
my sweetest sin, my perfect corruption. Is that a promise? That's a vow. His eyes met hers in the mirror. And I always keep my vows. If this story kept you watching until the end, You need to subscribe right now for more dark romance stories that push every boundary. Comment below. Team Marcus or Team Adrian? Though let's be honest, we all know there's only one right answer. Remember to hit that like button if you want to see what happens next in Maya's deliciously dangerous new life with Adrian DeLuca. Until next time, I love you all so much.